Imagine this. It's your first day of retirement. You just woke up. No alarm clock, no commute, no meetings to go to, just silence. And for the first time in decades, no one's telling you what to do. And in that moment, a question hits you. Now what? This is the part that most people miss. They forget to plan for, and that is what we're going to tackle today is what is your life actually going to look like when you get to retirement? Welcome to Your Retirement Story, how to craft a plan for the life you want. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. My name is April Schoen, and whether retirement is right around the corner or decades away, today's session is really designed to help you think about your future with clarity, confidence, and excitement. So many people spend their entire careers working hard, saving, trying to do the right things financially, trying to be responsible. But when it comes time to retire, they're not sure what is actually going to look like for me. And that's what we're going to work on today, helping you define this vision so that you can understand what you want retirement to look like. What's your goal? When you wake up and every day feels like a Saturday or every day feels like a Sunday, what are you going to do with your time? What's going to give you purpose and meaning so that you can not just be retired, but actually enjoy your retirement? And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're talking about how do you create this ideal vision for your retirement. I'm also going to go through some of the most common mistakes that I see people make. And then I'm going to go through a very simple framework with you that I take all my clients through and helping them design not just what is that vision for retirement going to be for them, but also the financial side of it. How do you build a financial plan that supports the lifestyle that you want for your retirement? I'm excited. Let's dive in and get started today. So, retirement is more than just money. Most people think about retirement planning like numbers, savings, investments, pension calculations. And while those are important, that's just a piece of the puzzle. That's just part of it, right? Money is just a tool. It's the financial tool to allow you to do the things that you really want to do in retirement. And the focus should be on what are those tools going to enable you to do? So retirement it's a lifestyle shift. It's not just a financial event. So there's a few questions I want you to think through as you're starting to think about what is retirement going to look like for you. So what do you want to spend your time doing when work is no longer the main event? When you don't have to plan your week around Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, what are you going to do? What's going to give you meaning, purpose, joy? What are you going to look forward to? What are those things that you wish now that you think, oh, if I only had more time, I would do fill in the blank? And I really encourage you to take some time and think through that, right? Are you going to volunteer? Are you going to work on a hobby? Maybe it's you want to work on your golf game. Maybe you want to start picking up pickleball, right? What are you going to do with your time? Is it travel? Okay, right? Travel. I hear that a lot. Hey, I want to travel when I retire. Great. But where are you going to travel to? How often? That's not going to be something you do every day. So, how often are you going to travel? Is it going to be one big trip a year? Is it going to be these maybe smaller trips every quarter? Like, what's that going to look like for you? Who are you going to spend time with? Right now that you have all the time for in retirement, who are the people that you're going to spend time with? What are you going to look forward to? Most retirees don't plan for how they're actually going to live once work stops. They focus on the numbers and they miss the bigger picture, how they're going to spend their time, what's going to give their life purpose and fulfillment. What is that really going to look like on a day to day basis? I've worked with clients that had more than enough saved. So, like financially on paper, they were good to go, yet they struggled. I had one client tell me, April, I've worked for 40 years and I have no idea like who I am without work because our work can become a lot of our identity. Now, I find this tends to be more for men than women, but yes, our work can be our identity. So when we're not working anymore, who are we? What are those things that are important to us? What do we want to do with our time? Right? And this left him feeling very, he just felt like he was drifting. He just didn't feel like he had as much like purpose as he did before. And that's when this part matters so much. Without a vision, you risk kind of getting to retirement and being bored. I've had clients go back to work because they said, hey, this wasn't for me. And that's okay. But like also with some planning of thinking through those things, you can make sure that the retirement is exactly what you want it to be. When you wake up with all of this freedom, you now have time freedom and hopefully, you've got the money to live the life, but you just don't know what you're going to do with that. That's not what you've worked this hard for. That's not what you've spent decades of your life getting to. But here's the good news. You get to decide. You get to decide what this next chapter looks like. If it's going to be full of travel, volunteering, new hobbies, spending time with family, whatever excites you, you get to decide. And first, you need to define it. So, what we're going to talk about today, today's goal is helping you design a fulfilling and financially sound retirement. As I mentioned earlier, I'm going to walk through what are some of those big mistakes that I see people make. How do you set realistic goals for retirement? And then a simple framework that you can follow. This is a framework I take all of my clients through so you can connect your money with the life that you want. Right? So if here's what we want here's what we want in retirement, here's our goal, here's what we want life to look like in the future, here's where we are financially, how do we put those things together? How do we start matching our finances with the lifestyle that we want, right? And by the end, you're going to walk away not just with more knowledge, because you don't need that. You need a vision and you need a starting point for action. So let's get started. So, what does your ideal retirement look like? I'm going to ask you some questions, and I really encourage you to take some time to think this through. You maybe even want to grab like a journal or something to jot down some ideas. So, what does your ideal retirement look like? If you don't have a vision for retirement, you could end up feeling lost, bored, or even regretful, despite having financial security. So let's take a moment to reflect. And I want you to really think about this. When we think about retirement, one, where are you going to live? Are you going to stay in your same home, in your same town? Or are you going to move? I live in Tallahassee and I had some clients who retired here in Tallahassee a few years ago, and they moved to Orlando to be near children and grandchildren. I've got clients who have sold their house and bought an RV and traveled all over the US for several years before selling the RV and then settling back down in the Carolinas. I've got clients that move to Virginia because they want to live on a lake, or move to the beach because that's where they really envisioned their retirement. So, where are you going to live? How will you spend your time? I love asking the question, if every day is like a Saturday and a Sunday, what are you going to do with your time?